brown fat and white fat in the past. I'm like, do more wish to. Okay, hello my darlings, it's Michaela. So I am super excited to talk about beiging today, and why it might make you wish to consider fat burning even more. So I'm just gonna say like the rough sketch that I currently understand, and I will do more research about this. But basically, so I've talked about brown fat and white fat in the past. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. I think that's better. Brown fat and white fat. So white fat is the jiggly stuff that we can pinch. White fat is subcutaneous fat below our skin, in this adipose layer, this fat layer. White fat is the stuff that makes us fat. White fat is, what else do I want to say? Maybe that's it. Brown fat, on the other hand, is the stuff that makes us warm. And so brown fat is brown. We'll talk about that in a second, actually. Basically, the younger we are, the more brown fat we have. So if you've ever, been amazed that your child can run around outside when it's chilly out without a jacket, or that they're like super happy to be in the pool, even though it's like not that warm, or you've had, your baby, babies don't shiver, and it's because they have a lot of brown fat. And so everything that we are showing up with, I brag. I'm like, what would be fun to wear today? I almost put on sweatpants, and then it was just like, no, I think I'd like to do something a little more intentional and fun. So anyway, what do I want to say? So babies don't shiver, and it's because their bodies are warm. Hi, Robert. Hi, my dear. And it's because of brown fat. So sexy. Thank you. That was the goal today. Every day, really. So anyway, but it's for survival. So everything that we exhibit, everything that's been constructed is primarily for survival or reproductive reasons. And survival so we can reproduce. Anyway, so brown fat is to keep us warm. And the younger we are, the more we have of it. And that's kind of we're a bit more defenseless, right? It's if we're able to survive, it's our population can either stay, expand. But the whole thing with brown fat is that it burns white fat. So the stuff that makes us warm burns the shit that makes us fat. That sounds kind of desirable, in a super passive way to whittle your waistline down. So anyway, I wrote a blog post, and maybe I'll attach it, about how to activate brown fat some time ago. I don't even remember what I talked about, honestly, but I'll attach it. One of the things that was actually kind of surprising was that eating, getting your body cold, I know that was one thing, and not just being in the shower could do it, but it really, to really activate brown fat, it's getting cold, being cold for a while. So whether that's lowering the temperature dramatically in your home, going outside, what was I gonna say? So that was something, I forget, there was two main things I wanna say, and then the other bit was not the thing that you necessarily wanna do, but an advantage if you do this periodically, which is actually to overeat. And what that does, when you eat a large amount of food at once, your body kind of can't manage all the calories. This is not every day, but every once in a while, kind of works with our carb feasts as well, and Fat Burning Pro, should you wish to check that out. A weight loss program that involves carbohydrates and large amounts of food at times. But at any rate, that excess, that influx of calories actually triggers your brown fat to burn more fuel, because basically it's like it's too much for your body to store. So it burns it, it creates heat, which is actually quite an inefficient way, an inefficient manifestation of energy production. So at any rate, the point of my story today, beiging. So we were talking about, we have two types of fat. We have white fat, which is the stuff that makes us fat, which really is stored energy. And then we have brown fat, which is the stuff that makes us warm. And so we have more brown fat when we are younger, we have less when we're older. There's ways to activate it, but the thing that's really fucking cool is that we can actually beige the white fat. And what that means is we can make the white fat more brown. We can make the white fat burn more fat. So the reason why brown fat is brown is because of the abundance of mitochondria in it. So mitochondria, if you remember high school biology or beyond, mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell, the organelle in the cell that creates energy, that creates ATP. So at any rate, we need mitochondria. This is actually something that we support in Fat Burning Pro and Fat Burning Mastery, should you wish to check that out. But at any rate, mitochondria create energy. We need them. Brown fat has such a large amount of mitochondria in it that it has changed its color. Good to know. Anyway, on to hormones. So insulin is a fat storing hormone. Okay. Insulin is actually something that basically, like, it makes our energy creation very efficient. And so what that means is it kind of like locks down as much white fat as it can contain, because basically the more of it we have, the longer we'll live. And the energy that it produces is, it's very efficient. It's more in the, I guess, the sense of movement, digestion, brain function, but not heat. And that's what brown fat creates. Anyway, so conversely, or opposed to insulin, ketones, which are created when we burn fat for fuel, actually create this beiging effect. So basically, insulin is something that keeps mitochondria tightly coupled. And what that means is basically it keeps them very efficient. It, like, movement, digestion, thinking, whatever it is. But ketones, getting your body in a fat burning mode and using fat for fuel, therefore producing ketones, uncouples mitochondria. And so what that does is it basically creates this inefficient usage of energy by burning fat and releasing ketones, releasing heat, just by the nature of the fuel that you are both consuming and burning. So at any rate, and what's additionally really fucking awesome is that, so insulin is so fixated, so designed to store fat, that the likelihood, I talk about this a lot, there's the possibility, kind of based on where you are, for the body to actually break muscle down in the effort to store fat, because of survival purposes. And this is not so uncommon, honestly. It's like this shit can happen when we, what do I want to say? When we're, I guess, trying to run off a protein. This can happen when we like really overdo it with exercise, especially in the high intensity camp. When the body feels like, whoa, like, hey, wait a minute, like we might not be getting the fuel that we need. It can break muscle down. And the thing that's so awesome about having ketones in the body versus higher levels of insulin, which happens as a result of eating carbohydrates, we will have more ketone bodies as a result of burning fat. Basically, ketones not only uncouple mitochondria, make like inefficient use of the fuel that's on your body, the jiggly fat, the white fat that's making you fat. But what it also does is it preserves getting energy from muscle. The scientist whose talk I listened to talked about the fact that it basically, it mobilizes or uncouples mitochondria from the affluent adipose tissue, the abundant fat tissue, and it keeps the muscles miserly with their mitochondria, with their stored energy. So basically it's like it burns more of the shit that you don't want and it preserves the stuff that you want to keep. And that's like creating this like fat burning machine simply by the fuel that you are prioritizing in your daily life. Okay? I thought that was super fucking useful and super fucking interesting and eye-opening. And so if you've yet to be swayed into like possibly contemplating getting your body into a fat burning mode, I hope this gives you like a lot to think about. Because the whole deal is that it's not like getting your body in a fat burning mode does not just offer one thing. It offers so many things. And I'll say this, like every time I do additional research in the realm of weight loss and like, you know, wanting to understand just like a little bit more, what's another sound bite? Like what's another tidbit that's retainable, that's really compelling? Like how can I understand this better? Or how can I understand more in order to kind of like create this like ironclad argument, honestly, and belief in myself, which I have, but it's really useful to keep having reinforcement that undeniably makes this mode like so useful, like for everything, and also easier for weight loss. But at any rate, like I think that I just made a podcast about kind of like the problem with protein, or like why to not prioritize protein for fuel. And we need it. I've been talking about that more, how it's like it's necessary for life. And the truth is, excuse me, if we eat, like we need more as we get older. Muscle is kind of considered the organ of longevity. What else do I want to say? So we need it for our tissue, like every type of tissue, but it's not good fuel. So we have a choice. Like we can either use carbohydrates for fuel or we can use fat for fuel. Together is a disaster. That's like the American diet, standard American diet. High carbohydrates, high fat, disaster, low protein, honestly. But you need to choose a camp. And so I need to give a talk on this about like high carbohydrates and high protein, that can work. Low fat, that can work. But if you do higher fat and higher protein, it's such a fucking winning formula. It's so easy to like undereat and feel undeniably full. And then there's like all this stuff. So whenever I do additional research, it's just like, yeah, like we're doing this. It's so complete. And so the fact that it's not just that like, you know, fat lowers inflammation and fat doesn't trigger an insulin response to store fat, and fat is something that, you know, helps keep human growth hormone levels, which like helps us to lose weight. And basically it's considered like the fountain of youth. It's the thing that regenerates tissue and, you know, staves off disease. And what else does fat do? Like, yeah, fat allows us to, you know, go for hours without food and do intermittent fasting and slow aging, which is like, intermittent fasting is kind of considered like an anti-cancer diet, because of how it enables the body to like basically clean itself up, its cells up, to like do away with cells that are defunct versus allowing them to reproduce. But anyway, more energy, better sleep, better moods, like less disease. It just like, it goes on and on and on. And so like additionally, for this to be like an element of it, basically the higher the level of insulin you have, the more your body will hold on to fat, and to keep your mitochondria tightly coupled, which means that it keeps your energy use super efficient, which when you're losing weight or wanting to lose weight isn't really useful. And it's like, because it holds on to this so much, there's actually a risk of your body mining muscle for fuel, compared to ketones, which are a result of using fat for fuel, and that they uncouple mitochondria, create heat, and basically like you breathe ketones out, you pee them out, but it makes weight loss. Hi, Mike, my dear. I'm almost done with my rant. It makes weight loss so much easier. And then additionally, with ketones present in your body, it preserves muscle. Like the risk of mining muscle for fuel is like non-existent. And so not only does it like burn fat more easily, not only does it not like raise insulin levels and store fat, but it actually uncouples mitochondria, making like weight loss just happen kind of on its own by the presence of what's in your system. It's like glory fucking hallelujah. Amazing. All right? Think about getting into a fat burning mode if you are not already there. Please check out Fat Burning Pro. Please check out Fat Burning Mastery if you need more hand holding. And please listen to this from the start if you need any additional like faith in what a smart approach this is to weight loss and to health. All right? I think that's it. I hope everyone's having a great day. I hope everyone's taking care of themselves. I hope everyone is beating their drums and sending smoke signals and doing dances around fires to incite the results of what's currently going on in our world in the direction of your desires. That is what I am doing. So focus on what you want and enjoy the crap out of it, because that is how you make shit happen. Period. All right? That's all. Love to all. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow's Thursday. Oh my God, we're gonna be making something. I'm like looking at a whole slew of desserts, honestly, that are all like fat burning friendly. They're all like cookies and bars, like super sexy things. Most of them involve chocolate, and I'm just kind of deciding what I want to make. All right, so tomorrow's gonna be pretty decadent, but like supportive. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you all for being here. Please be in touch for any reason. I will attach that blog post about brown fat versus white fat, but this is like new news to me. Brown fat or ketones, being in a fat burning mode, literally like uncouples mitochondria and makes it easier to burn fat, just like as we are. So like creating fat burning machinery simply by the diet that you're choosing. Okay, that's it. Love to all. Thank you for being here. Be in touch for any reason. Tomorrow at 3:30, something super freaking sexy and fat burning supportive. All right, that's it.